How to not be a hypocritical Christian in 2020. You've been probably hearing pretty often that the country is becoming more and more divided. You've got the divide between the left and the right. Blue lives matter, black lives matter. The coronavirus is a deadly threat. The coronavirus isn't even real. And as time goes on, it gets harder and harder to stay in the middle. There's more and more pressure to pick a side. And here's why that makes this a difficult situation for Christians. We Christians are not immune to this sense of tribalism. Both sides have Christians who think their side is the side that Jesus would have supported. And they would say Jesus was 100% a progressive, or he was 100% a conservative. You see this type of rhetoric all the time on the internet, on Facebook posts. How can you call yourself a Christian if you believe X, Y, and Z? How can you call yourself a Christ follower if you support this or that? Most Christians are somewhere in the middle and feel like they don't really have a good option at this point, because either side that they pick will make them feel like a hypocrite. If I join Team Progressive, does that mean I have to get rid of the Bible and leave it behind because it's a remnant of a patriarchal past? Or does that mean I have to take the traditional family structure and throw it out, say it's something that we need to move past? Or that the idea of sex and gender are just completely social constructs? Do I need to believe that Jesus wouldn't really care if you believed in him or not? And if I join Team Conservative, does that mean that I have to believe that the American system hasn't favored white people over black people? That the wealth gap between white Americans and black Americans is something caused by black culture or something that they're doing wrong or not living up to what white people are doing? If I join Team Conservative, does that mean that I have to openly support someone who basically goes against all the morality that we see in the Bible just because he's pro-life and pro-church? On Team Conservative, do I need to believe that all the scientists who say that humans are exacerbating the problem of climate change are just being paid off by some democratic superpowers? So you can either care about the lives of the unborn, or you can care about the immunocompromised and people of color. The options make it seem like you can't have both. And so for Christians trying to be faithful to Jesus, not a political party or an ideology or a philosophy or a social movement, this is an impossible binary to be forced into. If you stay in the middle, both sides will see you as a hypocrite, because doing nothing is just as much of a political statement as actually doing something actively against one or the other. So you're either actively fighting on our side for what we believe is right, or you're actively fighting against us. It seems like your only options are you don't pick a side, and then you're seen as a hypocrite by everyone, or you do choose a side and then feel like you're a hypocrite not to the groups, but to God. If you are watching this and you are not a Christian, maybe these two pictures of Christianity are so unattractive to you that this is the reason you've said, I don't want anything to do with that religion in the first place. If being a Christian means wholeheartedly supporting one of those two sides, I can see why you wouldn't want to be a part of it. So this is what we're going to be talking about for the next few weeks. If you want to be a part of a real conversation about this, not just a shouting match on someone's Facebook post, we would invite you to come to our group that meets on Tuesday nights at 7:15 over Zoom. Anyone is welcome, and we're gonna dive deep into these topics. I know that these are probably the questions that are burning on a lot of your minds. And most likely, if you're a Christian, maybe your church is not talking about these things. And so the only voices you can listen to are people out in the world who are not Christians. This would be the place where we can talk through these issues as Christians and people who are not Christians in a respectful, open, and honest dialogue. If you are less interested in winning an argument and actually more interested in growing as a person, this Zoom group is for you. If you found this video helpful at all, we would encourage you to share this video with your friends. Get the word out to other people who might be interested in this type of conversation. And as always, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.